If you're in your 40s with no debt other than your mortgage and you want to know when you can retire early, this is the video for you. Here's the couple that we're going to look at today. So you can see I changed their names for security purposes, but they're 47 and 40 years old. The primary breadwinner, 47, the spouse who's currently not working, 40, and they have a child who's 21 years old. Now, in terms of their financial strategy, here are their assets before we get to the specifics. So they currently have $60,000 in their bank account, $1.4 million across their various investments. They have $500,000 in a brokerage account. That's what I call a superhero account. $600,000 in their 401k, $250,000 in a Roth IRA, $50,000 in an HSA. They currently own their home worth $900,000 with a loan of $347,000. This is a sample case so that you can actually see how this might relate to your own finances, and the software that I'm going to show you today is available to you in the description of this video. Now, I will say before we hop right into the details, most people want to know when they're in a position to make work optional. You might be like, wow, I want to stop working yesterday. I just want to find out when I'm financially in a good position. I'm not worried about being bored, how I'm going to find purpose, just financial. Other people are more, hey, I don't hate what I do. I just don't know really what I would do if I didn't do this because my coworkers are here, my friends are here. Today, I'm not going to focus as much on the purpose side as I often do in my videos. It's going to be strictly on the financial side. Now, I don't have it in me to just completely ignore and not try to blend the two because naturally they do go together. But once again, today, I'm a little bit more on the technical side. I am a CFP, a certified financial planner, host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and the Chief Growth Officer here at Root. I've told you all many times if you've seen my videos, but just because I'm a CFP does not mean you should listen to me. How many doctors would you never let touch your body? Probably a lot of them. I am a CFP, and there's many people that I took my CFP course with that I would never let manage a dime of my money or carry my lunchbox. So with that being said, I hope you resonate with the content and the way I deliver it. The most important thing here that I would want you to do is ask yourself how much would you love to spend in retirement, because I don't want you to do what's called appetizer planning. These are silly phrases I make up. But the reason I say this is too many people retire and they go, I did it. Yeah, I retired, but I'm hesitant to get the calamari. Or should we really get dessert? We could go home and we have the Trader Joe's ice cream. Let's just have that instead. Then you're not fully enjoying it. So because of this, we always start with, okay, what are your goals? And so here's an example of a couple. Their goals in terms of when they wanted to initially retire, 57 and 55. Now you can see they're 47 today. So the primary breadwinner makes about $140,000 a year, wants to retire in 10 years. That's the initial plan. They are very frugal people. They spend $3,000 a month. That does not include their mortgage. So they're about $5,500, about $6,000 a month. That's simply on their goals, living their dream life, excluding travel because they're not big travelers. So you might go, wow, good to know, but that's not me. I want to spend double that. Beautiful. Go in the plan and make that your plan. This is just an example. They want to plan for healthcare. It's an estimate here of $6,400 for each of them until Medicare kicks in. I would recommend increasing that, but I'll explain that in a little bit. Long-term care, they want estimates in there because they don't want to be a burden to children and don't have a huge family. And then they want to help out a child with I almost said grandbabies. They probably do want to do that too, but they want to help out with grad school. So you can go and get real creative in here, and you can add in, college. You can add in cars, vacations, weddings, properties. I'm just keeping it simple for today. Now, if we look at their specific plan, what you're going to be able to see here is the ability to manipulate what are called the biggest trade-offs. So I was playing around with their plan a little earlier to see what if they stopped working immediately and traveled at $30,000 a year. And you can see if they did that, they would run out of money by 70. So if I switch this and say, guys, work 10 more years, specifically the primary breadwinner, if you really want to spend $30,000 a year on travel, not forever, but for the first 15 years, because that's when you want to fully enjoy the time you have your energy and your health, awesome, you can do so. You could see there would be $1.4 million at the end as opposed to $4.1 million. A reminder, go in and use your own numbers here. Don't rely on this. But this is assuming they spend $3,000 on the just basics, they have their mortgage, and then $30,000 a year additional travel. In addition to their healthcare of $6,300 per year, but let's just call it $12,000. It's a little north of that, but 12,000, I'm adding another 10,000 a year. So that's 22,000 a year, which is why if they were to say, for example, they want to leave $1 million to their child. So 1.4 million at the end, that's making them feel much more comfortable. The one thing here is 30,000, they think that's excessive. So pretend I say, guys, 20,000 a year is what you're going to spend on travel. I know this couple, they'd be like, well, if that means I don't have to work, I mean, look, there's 2.1 million at the end. So they might find it more attractive to retire earlier. Let's call it 4 years earlier. So now you can see how much is at the end, about 1.1 million, but we just took 4 years off their initial retirement timeline. So a big variable here is what's in your control, how long you work. You can't really control when you pass away. Obviously, this changes the plan if we need income for 40 years versus 50 years. In terms of healthcare, in terms of long-term care, obviously, we can play around with all of this. You can create scenarios to say, what if you downsize? What if inheritance comes in? What if, and this is a common one, what if they stop working at, let's just say today. Let's just say they stop working entirely. And some of you are going, where are you going with this? But stick with me here. So they stop working, they run out of money at 85, but they got to spend 20,000 a year on travel. Okay, well, they need income for 40 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to say you're going to work part-time and you're going to make 60,000 a year. So they make 140 today. Now they're going to make 60,000 a year. Some people go, it doesn't make a big difference, but you can see it actually does. There's 1.2 million left over. Now we want to know how long are they working part-time for 5 years. So now he stops working today and he works from 47 to 52 at a job he enjoys way more, with more ability to focus on time with family, friends, health, etc. That is what I want to go over in today's video. What's a huge variable here? Obviously, the way you invest. So you can see there's a lot of different models here. You can say, I want the most aggressive portfolio. And if you were to hover over that and refresh the plan, yes, it's going to show you way more money, 3.2 million. If you were to say, I don't want to invest at all, I just want the most, preservation style of strategy, you'll run out of money very quickly because inflation is going to obviously erode the value of your purchasing power. So there's a ton of variables here. What I encourage you to do is play around, see what you're on track for, and it gives you a sense of, okay, is this possible? There's tons of different tools here, Social Security testing to try to optimize for filing strategies, Medicare, cash flows, taxes, estate. It's a powerful tool. I hope you use it as a starting spot. If you then are looking for more of a, hey, I don't want to have to necessarily do this in retirement. I don't know how to create my own dividends, the tax strategy, the healthcare, the withdrawal. I want to have a partner. That's what we do here at Root Financial. So I encourage you to reach out. And if so, I will look forward to speaking to you then. What we love getting to do is help people get the most life out of your money. So if you do reach out to us at Root Financial, in the upper right, you'll see a little button. It's also in the description of this video where you can apply and you'll answer a few questions. From there, you'll speak to a member of our team, and that's it. Pretty simple. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like this. Please comment below what resonated most with you and share it with someone who you want to retire early with. Thanks, guys.